Folks, I've got with me a very interesting individual with a lot of years of experience and also married to Harry Shearer. Now, Judith, I understand that you've been doing this for quite some time, but when was your first day that you realized that you wanted to become an actual singer?
There was never a day that I knew I wanted to be it. I was born into it. My very Welsh family was pretty much the business. The family business was music, and there's a generalization. I know it sounds like a generalization that all Welsh people sing, but we do. It's kind of our thing. And my father was a very successful opera singer in London and around the world, all over the world, and so I grew up backstage at the Opera House, Covent Garden in London, and various places. But at the same time, there was always jazz and blues and all kinds of music and gospel and Motown and soul and everything else besides in the house. And what was extraordinary is that he was a really broad-minded musician. My mother was totally into big band and into musicals, so I had this extraordinary mix of music, and there wasn't a time where there was always music in the house, there was always singing, there was just always music, and so it was really something that I did, and nobody even took any notice of because we were all doing it.
Okay.
So I've been singing since forever, and I can't remember, honestly, I can't remember a time when I wasn't singing.
That much I saw. I also know that your current husband is also an actor, musician, singer.
You say current husband as if I'm going to get another.
No,
No, my only husband.
Well,
My only husband who will always
you
be.
guys have
Yes.
been together for quite a long time.
Yeah, we have, and always will be. Yeah, he's an extraordinary guy, and I met him because he was touring. When I first met him, he was touring in London. I was very young and very broke and very at the very beginning of my professional career, and he came into a club where I was playing, and he is one of the co-creators of This Is Spinal Tap, and they were in town doing a show as Spinal Tap, and that's how I met him, and that's how it all started. And I guess all roads lead to Spinal Tap somewhere along the way, and here we are. Last year the second Spinal Tap came out, and it just seems to me that that's always been omnipresent, and I'm such a huge fan of his, and he's such an incredible supporter of mine. He is so ridiculously proud of everything that I do and every success that I get. It's a very rare thing, so I know how lucky I am.
Well, I'm glad that you found the musical soulmate to your life's journey. I'm quite happy for you too.
Yeah,
Now,
truly.
the whole purpose of doing this interview was because you blew me away with Come and Get It, but the album afterward, which is Suit Up, I think.
This is the record that's only just come out on Friday.
Okay.
Suit Yourself.
Suit Yourself, that's it.
Yes.
And you had some singles that came out that were incredible, but the whole album is fantastic because I played it like 5 times in the run of a day on repeat.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm getting the best reviews of my life, honestly, all around the world. And I kicked off firstly in Paris because France is a huge audience for me, and as is Britain, of course, where I also live. And the reviews have been nothing but extraordinary. And now America, same thing. So I'm really thrilled about this. I really am.
Now, I know that the last album prior to that was in 2022. This is your very recent album that you mentioned that just released. When did you guys actually start doing the recording and mastering and everything? Was it 6 months ago? Was it a year ago? Was it 2 years
Well,
ago?
actually, I've been very sneaky after Come On and Get It, which was also a really great success. I'm happy to say, because I did that in COVID because I needed to be happy, to cheer up, and to be, to actually get some joy in my life, as we all felt. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to do the thing I've always dreamt of doing: get out from behind the piano, be that great front woman, really be the entertainer that I've always wanted to be. And I'm going to record an homage to the women that I grew up loving, who were pretty much all forgotten, but incredible women at the piano. And then that was a huge success. And then in 24, I think it was, or was it 2023, I think, I brought out Judith Owens Comes Alive, which was recorded live at the Bern Jazz Fest. And then I brought out a big band Christmas record called Judith Owens Swings Christmas. So I've been very busy. And then last year, 25, I basically started this. Let me see. I'd say probably that it took, we got serious about it and went in and did the sessions October, November, mixed kind of November, December, to get it basically ready with all the artwork, everything done, the whole thing ready to put it into a package and to start really mastering and finishing it all up in January, so that so we could hit all the deadlines. There were still bits and pieces that I was still recording and still finishing up, so that it would be ready for this release, which just came out. So it takes, even when it's digital, and it's digital first, and then it comes out in May and June on vinyl and CD. But it takes a while to, it's so much more than just record, there it is, done, finished. No, there's so many working parts to it. And then you have to have a few months in order to get all the promo stuff together, to be able to hit all the, journals and the the podcasts and the radio. You have to get that into rotation. So everything takes much longer than you would think. But this is done. I don't record as fast as a lot of my a lot of the people around me here in New Orleans, just because I like to do things in spurts, as it were. I like to have enough time to be able to. I'm very fast the way I record. It's all one performance. I don't do layering. I don't go in. I don't do things like that. It is a performance live in the studio. Usually one of two, maybe three at the most. But after that, you just lose the freshness.
Yeah, the spontaneity.
Yeah. The spontaneity. That's exactly it. And then it's really about choosing the best performance. Finding out what's missing on the album, seeing if there's anything that you feel you really need, or that the last thing I did was the big band, which is a personal favorite. I have a big band collection of incredible players that get together to form the JO Big Band, which is extraordinary. So they were the last recordings I did. And then I think the only overdub that I did, which was not, done here live in New Orleans, which is where I recorded the whole album, because honestly, it couldn't be done anywhere else. It just has this feeling, this joy, and it's sexy, and it's got all that grease that you get in New Orleans, as they call it. But Joe Bonamassa was the only person that overdubbed from elsewhere, and he did that from his own studio. And I'm just a fan of Joe's, and I really wanted a great solo on Your Mind Is on Vacation, and I'd just seen him perform in New Orleans, and my good friend is his backing singer, Danielle DeAndrea. She's an extraordinary singer. And so I said, do you think he would ever guest on my stuff? And she was like, yes, he loves guesting on people's music. And he's an incredible, as it turns out, he's a really generous musician who loves playing on people's projects. So yeah, that was really it. And the rest is just a matter of pulling it all together and making it happen. Yeah.
Well, it's incredible that you actually have a good repertoire of musicians and very, very, how can I put it? Basically, it's your black book or silver lining.
Yeah, it's like there is an embarrassment of great players in New Orleans. Truly, it's extraordinary. But the right ones, I mean, I found my family, I found my core players. And I have, I have a few drummers. They're all spectacular, whether it be Jameson Ross or Pedro Segundo. I have just extraordinary players who are so empathic, and they really mirror the way that I play, the way that I arrange my songs, my rearrangements of things. They're right, at this point, they absolutely feel the music and know intuitively what to do. And I'm not shy to say what I'm hearing, what I want, what I feel, and they're absolutely there, completely and utterly. It's an extraordinary thing to have. And there are times when we're playing live where we all agree that it feels like, 6 players, 1 brain, and that's how it feels. And that's a special thing to be able to say, because it's like, that is the meaning of being in the zone, and that's when the greatest music is made, I believe. And it's the same with classical music. It's the same with all forms of music. When you have that glue where people are absolutely symbiotic, it's really special.
I can't say anything about that because I'm not a musician, but I've 30 years now that I've been doing.
You hear it.
Yeah, but mostly it's because I've been doing jazz and blues radio shows across the province, and now I'm doing it through Plus FM.
Yes.
And the audience actually enjoys it, so that's one thing. That, and I'm across Canada. I record my show and they give it to other French radio stations that don't have jazz or blues in their repertoire. So they can pull what they need and they just play it. Hence why I do these interviews, because they get a chance to hear and see the artist that is the vocal side of everything that they hear.
Yeah. And the extraordinary thing I will mention about that fact about people who don't play jazz or blues, because I'm a mixture of singer-songwriter and pop and, classical and rock and everything else beside. The most interesting thing for me is when I play live, I have people coming up to me at the end of my shows, and they, 9 out of 10 times, they say this: I didn't know I liked jazz, but I like this. And it's the funniest thing because I say to them, there are many kinds of jazz, many kinds, and there's something for everybody. But the kind of jazz and blues I'm doing the most. I'm doing the type that has instant connection.
Yeah.
That has earworms, hooks. It's song based. It's melodies. It is what the jazz era that I love so much was, which is about melody. It was about great songs. That was the pop music of its time, and I still look at it and treat it as being very much song based. That's how I love it personally, and I think that's what makes it so much easier to connect. It's much more fresh and contemporary and commercial in many ways than what people think jazz is meant to be. What they've been told jazz is.
Well, it depends on what you've been exposed to. Yes. I've tried every single type of jazz when I was actually beginning my radio show. Acid jazz, smooth jazz, bebop jazz. I mean, there's so much, but the one thing that pulled me into doing what I do, and especially doing this interview with you, the Christmas album was just a blast, because it had a big band and an incredible singer becoming one into the Christmas season. And I think I played every single tune that was available on the album during this last
Well,
Christmas,
thank
actually.
you so much. Thank you. It's you know, it's a very it's a very wonderful thing to be in front of a big band. It really is. I've just done a show. I did a launch here for the album. The next day after this Saturday just gone, and the album just came out on Friday. And the first act was the entirety of the album, and the second act was my big band
Oh, nice.
performing. And that really is one of those, it's just one of those things that people so rarely get to see or hear, and so rarely get to hear it with such swing and, real, like, passion and fun, and with a smile on your face. I'm a great lover of joyful jazz. This what draws me, is the thing that makes me smile, that makes me feel joy in life. It's the same with the blues. I want to feel good. I write sad songs too, and I write, heartbreakers, but it's still about feeling alive, and feeling big, wonderful feelings. And I think that's what has always attracted me. And I'm glad to hear you say that, because it's, especially now when, I don't know, the world is such a strange and scary place. Every day. Believe me, and being in America is something else. And it's the necessity to smile, the necessity to feel joy, and to be able to just forget about what's going on outside of that room, the room you're in, even if it's just for an hour, or even for 5 minutes you're listening to a song. It's really important.
Yeah, I've got
For me to,
I've got my own passion when it comes to doing. If I cook, if I clean, if I'm driving, usually I always have music on, or a podcast, or depending on the mood. But I have to say that the fact that you've got a big band, it gives you such great impetus, in the sense that you're propulsed into a whole energetic stride. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, it is. And I'm very fortunate to be a woman. I mean, I'm in a time, and it's taken a long time for me to get to the place where I have got so much swagger that there's something very particular and exciting and thrilling about being a woman leading a big band, and not just being a singer, but being in charge. Being in charge it's I cannot even tell you how much energy that brings to the room. It's thrilling. It's a really thrilling thing.
So in the studio, when you guys decided to do it, apart from Joe Bonamassa doing his thing digitally from wherever he was, you were in the studio with the rest of the bandmates, right?
Yes. Some of these songs I make sure that I always record. Like I said, I record these live, and so every take would be every take was we're all in the same room together. It's either David Tuganowski on the piano, or it's me on the piano, and David would then swap and be over on Hammond B3. So it's very much, I don't want to lose that feeling that you get when you're in performance mode. You can so easily lose the kind of, I call it the lightning in the bottle, the excitement that you have in a live situation. Recording is so different. It's a different beast, of course, but you don't want it to sound sterile. I've always heard records that I felt, I've seen the live show and then I hear the record and I'm like, I'm a bit disappointed because it feels flat. And that's the thing. It's like, you can never be a live record. It can never be that. But you still have to have the sparkle. You still have to have the humanity that means that it's that's how I feel anyway, is that this is still a high wire. You're in performance. It's mistakes are in there. The humanity is in there. Some of the best things you'll ever do are the mistakes. And that's actually that's one of the reasons why we go back and we listen to music from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s over and over. And they are classics because they're imperfect. They're human. And that's what, especially in jazz and blues, that's what we relate to, is that thing that is real. It's exciting, it's thrilling, it's real.
Oh no.
Jazz Fest is rained out. I mean, just yeah. Yesterday I did 25 minutes and then off, and the rest of the festival was shut down.
Okay.
Done. And it happened again today because there's storms and it's thunder and lightning and
Yeah, there's nothing that says artistic integrity when thunder and lightning come.
I know, and you're on stage. It's happened many times before, but driving around right now, because you can imagine there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people trying to get home. It's crazy.
And this was called the Jazz Fest.
Jazz Fest, New Orleans Jazz
Oh,
Fest is
okay.
one of the biggest in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
New Orleans Jazz, absolutely. Jazz and Heritage Fest,
they have a TikTok for something that's relevant to that. Actually, then they actually put up a lot of promotion for everything that's going on. But I'm glad that you made it back home safe and
I made it
sound.
back home. I even got to play yesterday a bit. So, but it's so sad. It's sad, when people can't play.
Weather is unfortunately very difficult to control.
Yeah.
The only thing you can bank on, and that's if you've got the facility, is a rain location such as a theater or anything that's inside.
Yeah,
but,
or an indoors facility. But that's the part. The joy of this is that it's outside. It's fantastic. So, but not when there's lightning.
No. So I figured out that I was doing the recording properly.
You were? Oh my god.
And so I've got what we did yesterday saved.
You got it. Oh, good.
And the audio was okay. Now I have to do a little bit of editing because I kind of sidetracked everything. But we were talking about live versus recorded. And you said that it doesn't necessarily feel the same if you listen to a recorded version versus actually being there in the present to see the live version.
For me, I think I said before that I'm often disappointed when I hear albums and I've seen somebody live and then I hear their recorded material and it feels very sterile, very cold in comparison. It doesn't feel like it has the electricity, and that's something that is very, very magical about live performance. It's like lightning in a bottle. It is, and it's in the moment, and it's when it's improvising, when it's jazz, when it's blues, it is absolutely about what's in the moment in the room.
That's true.
What I do in order to avoid that sterile quality of the studio is that I have always recorded everything like a performance. It's live immediately. I mean, from the it's always live from the beginning to the end. Sometimes I have friends in the studio so that I've got that feeling that thank you, love, so that I feel like I'm doing a show. It will never ever be the same as a live performance because it can't be. It can never be the same. But the job is to get that same thrill, that electricity, that feeling of it being a special event, that you're hearing something that is that has passion to it, and that will never be redone. And so I believe in performance. I never layer. I never do like one layer after another. I never do a small thing and then build. It is the performance from beginning to end, and that includes mistakes, because I think mistakes are human.
Mhm.
And I think some of my favorite recordings in my life. Hang on one second. Some of my favorite recordings have been have most definitely been the kind of records where I'm thinking about, I don't know, Art Blakey, or any of the small clubs where you hear these incredible performances
Mhm.
happening. And they're full of mistakes, and things go wrong, and people shout, and there's noises, and there's the sound of glasses and people shouting into. I mean, but it's brilliant. It has atmosphere. It has something special, and so I think that it's very human to have mistakes, and I think that's what keeps it fresh. So that's what I'm always
True.
thinking about. That's always at the forefront, is to keep that.
Well, there's been few examples like any blues recordings done live. You always have, especially if it's in a small venue, not a festival. But usually, if it's in a local club that's known for either jazz or blues acts, a lot of the people will still keep on talking.
Yeah.
But there is such a thing as being there in the moment and trying to listen to the music, and the people are overpowering everything. It's kind of
I
annoying.
can't, I cannot accept or allow talking in my audience. But I'm very lucky because people don't talk. I think there was an era, when you hear things like the Jazz Messengers, you hear some of these recordings and people are chatting. It's like, what? But they it was a time when people went to hang and just sort of like, to socialize. And jazz was always seen as being something that was part of a scene. So there was always, it was animated. I hate that. I cannot listen to music. I can't be in the audience when someone else is talking. I cannot stand it. I was shut up. I have been in many arguments about this. We've paid to hear. We're listening to a human being. It's not a recording. It's not something, with
Yeah,
no feelings and no humanity. There's a human being. There are human beings performing for us. So even when music is meant to be background, as sadly it sometimes is in clubs and especially restaurants, I can't do it. I can't bear it. So it's not possible for me to talk over music. I can't do it. I think it is not only disrespectful, but music is religion to me. So the idea that I would talk over the thing that I love the most, it's just, I can't even listen to, if there's a few restaurants here in New Orleans where the playlist is so good, is such great jazz, blues, everything. I can't speak to anybody. I'm just sitting, eating my food. All I'm doing is listening to the music. I just, that's
The-
really it. It's
if
very difficult.
well, if it's a vetted playlist that was put into place with purpose,
Yeah.
then it's not that much of an issue. But then again, it depends on where you go to eat and how the person is actually trying to manifest certain things to happen, like trying to up the mood for people so that he gets
Yeah.
more revenue.
I
So,
don't know. All I know is that there's this one restaurant in town called Lilette, and the playlist is so good,
mhm.
and it's by a man who loves music so much, and he wants everybody to have a greater experience, a heightened musical experience. But I'm a bit overly heightened. I'm overly sensitized to to this. I can't speak. I mean, I'm just sort of like my ear is just like constantly being pulled because it is, you know, it's just it. It's what speaks to me the most. It's what I love the most. So yeah, so it's like it's very difficult for me to do that. But if there's human beings playing,
Yeah.
no, 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 I can't. I can't talk. No.
Well, it's I've had the opportunity of being in the same position as you are, in the sense that I was going to go listen to something happening. In fact, I've been in Moncton for close to, I'll say, 20 years now. So
Yeah.
there we used to have a crew of jazz musicians called the I can't remember their name. They used to have a baker that played drums. Artie, the old man that used to play keys. We had a stand-up right bass. We had a flugelhorn player, and I'm missing. Oh, and a jazz guitarist of non-comparison. And he's unfortunately Jazz Messengers, I think, is what their name were. But no, that's not their name. That's a different band. Anyways, it was in the bottom of an actual restaurant, and we all showed up just for that. So I'd show up like almost an hour before they start. I'd order something to drink, and I'd
Yeah.
be writing down notes about whatever I was planning. But as soon as they hit the stage, I'd just sit back and just listen to them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was also a club where people came to sit at the bar or sit
And
with friends,
socialize. Yeah.
and socialize. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, depending on the time of the week,
Uh,
you either had too many people talking at the same time, and they were kind of drowning out, especially the soft solos that
yeah.
happened during a band trying to not prove, to create their love and express it to the people that are there to listen to it. There's nothing worse than, like you mentioned,
There's
where
nothing worse.
there's people talking over and you're too close to the people and you're having a hard time focusing on the music.
It's terrible. I mean, I did
Oh,
enough of that when I was a kid, when I was first starting out, and you have to play in places like that. And you always end up playing in places where you're being spoken over because your background music, and I've never understood, it's just not something I can do. I think background music is for people who aren't really music lovers. That's my feeling about it because they like it. I don't think they can differentiate between hearing music through speakers from a system, a music system, or live people on a stage performing. They don't seem to see the difference between those two things. And of course, it's a huge difference. It's everything. But I'm lucky because these days, I'm happy to say my whole career, no one talks. So that to me is like, thank God.
which
That's
is,
a great thing.
well, it's a plus. I mean, it's something that you've earned, that you've proven your
I have
worth, and
indeed.
and
Yeah.
people have that
Oof.
know you, that go to your presentations. They know that, okay, well, we're going to eat after, during, or after, but no talking.
We're not going to be talking. No, I know. And it's like smart venues, you know, good venues will always say to the audience, they'll always have a sign. We appreciate you not talking during the performances because that is that's the respect. That's all that's what that's. You wouldn't go to a theatre, you wouldn't go to an opera, you wouldn't go to see classical music and talk.
No.
So to me, no, it's
No.
just it's verboten. It really is terrible. But
So
anyway,
now, with
yes.
that said, we reviewed, just to give a pointer for the people. This is Judith Owens, folks, and we were doing an interview about "Suit Up," her brand new album that's coming out very soon.
Suit yourself.
Su-
Suit yourself.
Thank you. Where you
I know you
see,
wanted to be called Suit Up, but it's Suit yourself.
but it's just that Judith does is photograph, what's it called, photogenic individual in the cover art for the actual album, and this beautiful suit and the hat and just the smile on her face during the
Oh,
poses.
thank you. Thank you. It turns out that I always dress like that. I wear suits and a fedora, and it's my style. But I'm very fortunate to have a good, strong face that photographs very well. I think I have good angles on my face. I've got a nice, strong nose. All comes out really well. So
So,
I'm lucky.
yes, well, more than lucky, you're very talented, which
Well,
boosts
thank you.
that luck. So,
Yes, truly.
the question I have for you that we didn't have a chance to ask was, as a human being,
Hmm.
as a wife, as a renowned jazz singer, do you have time for any hobbies that you enjoy doing?
Uh, well, I'm very, very lucky. My hobby is the thing I get a living with. I mean, I remember my father saying to me when I was a little girl, if you get to do the thing that you love the most in life and as your job, that becomes your career, your life, you are the luckiest person on the planet. And the minute it stops being enjoyable, walk away. The minute it hurts, starts to feel painful, or you stop enjoying it, leave. Stop it.
Okay.
Because when it's that precious to you. But my hobbies, I tend to do all the things that I would do as a hobby: dancing, acting, painting. I am a painter, so I run out. I don't have enough time to do that because I've always loved painting. But I really don't have very much time to do that. I love writing. I write all the time. I'm a lyricist, but I'm also writing a lot. And the things that I suppose, travel. I'm doing it. I travel all the time. I see the world all the time. Visiting art galleries. I love art. I love fine arts. I love seeing, exhibitions. I do it all the time. So I've managed to create a situation for myself. I've been fortunate enough to have a situation where my hobbies are also included in all the things, in the work that I do. So I have my biggest hobby, and it's not really my hobby, but it's the thing that I love, apart from, of course, being with my wonderful husband. But my dogs are truly a source of great joy in my life. So my two big chocolate Labradors are brother and sister, are very much, and dogs are always big part of my life. I love animals so much, and so my dogs really are. I get up at 7 a.m. I feed them. We go out for a walk. I'm not a typical musician. I'm up early. I'm out with the dogs. We're out. I just love being with my dogs so much. They make me a better person. Dogs always make you better people. They just calm you down. They make you feel loved, and they allow you to love. And because my life has been dictated by music, because I don't have children, it's always been music. It's always been work. That is what drives me. So of course my dogs are my kids. Really, and my they're my wonderful children. So yeah, I would say that pretty much all my hobbies except painting, and even that I get to use because I get to do my own. I you were talking about the cover art and everything. I really do curate and arrange my own photo shoots. I have the most incredible photographers. That's a guy called Rick Guest in London. And then on my live, I have a wonderful photographer here in New Orleans, Steve Rapport, who does extraordinary photographs and of me live. But when it comes to the actual look of it and how I want to appear and how I want to be photographed, that's all something that I've already figured out and seen and curated in my head and kind of storyboarded. So I use pretty much all my skill sets I used.
Okay.
So yeah, which Yeah. So yeah, now that you've asked me that question, I realize truly that I am very fortunate that because I can do, because I get to do so many of the things that I love in life, and I do not have time, as I would call it, for hobbies, which is just as well because I'm
Okay.
doing them every day for my work. So
Which
that,
is
yeah,
which is good because, like your dad mentioned, if you're
yeah,
happy with what you do, then continue doing it. If you're not
that's right.
happy, do something else. Quit.
Do something. Just don't let anybody stop the joy, I think was his point. Don't anybody ruin the joy you have in music. You know, that's really, if it ever becomes a burden and it ever makes you unhappy, stop it because it's too special.
There's that. No, that's absolute. The last question I'd have, with the fact that we now covered your new album, your career, your passion for jazz and blues,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you did that. You did put 2 tracks of blues on the album.
yeah,
Um, what? It's gonna be a weird question. What's
yeah.
your favorite food dish? Now, by that, imagine that I give you a buffet style spread, but there's one type of food that you'll always want to have when it's being presented.
Oh, um, I can tell you that right now because every time I go to France, I eat the same thing every day. I mean, I have it once a day, and until I'm sick of it. I like confit de canard. I like duck confit with
Okay.
green beans and julienne potatoes underneath. I think that is just about one of the most beautiful things that there is in this world. I just love it, and I find honestly, I do get sick of it because I have it too much, but I I just love it. I love it, and I eat fish and I eat fowl. You know, I eat chicken and so I don't eat meat, but I just love, which makes me sad because I like ducks. You know, I love animals so much,
Yeah,
and
but
that upsets me that I might be eating a duck, but it tastes so good that I feel like it. You know, it has given up on its life for me so well, and I think I'd be very sad to give up. I love salmon. I just love salmon in every form. I love salmon so much. But the dish I would dream of would be confit de canard.
confit de canard.
Wait,
I've tried actually once eating confit on the plate. I just couldn't. The texture, the taste, it didn't sit well with me, and unfortunately, I'm probably one of the least favored dish for me. For me, it's anything but confit is
well, it depends who does it and
yeah,
how they do it and
yeah.
where it's done. But I think confit de canard is meant to be crispy, no fat anywhere on it, none. It's meant to have all the fat cooked off.
Okay.
So the problem with a lot of confit de canard that people eat is that it's very fatty and greasy and oily. That is a mistake. This is a
Okay.
mistake. So that's why I say to people,
I'm glad that you actually came out of the starting point with a very good answer because you're one of the rare ones.
I'm very rare, but honestly, I know my French food. I love food. I really, really do. And I have to say, you know, next to that, when I'm in France, if it's cold, I'll have cassoulet because, of course, that has. Then you have the white beans and the confit and the sausage, and I mean, I'm in heaven. But I love French. I love Italian food too. But yeah, I really. We all, the whole band, we eat like absolute fools when we are in Paris.
Well, for me,
Much weight is put on.
yeah, well, there's that. It depends on what you eat and how many times a day you eat. Some people
I
actually
eat
like to
once.
graze.
Yeah, no, grazing, not so good. I'm very careful. I make sure because I live in New Orleans, so I know all about this. Eat twice a day. really light, really lightly in the morning or in the day. Just make sure you have one meal, but and then walk, exercise, do everything you need to. But no, you can't. You cannot eat like that and stay slim. You just can't do it. So you
No.
got to pace yourself. Pace moderation. That's it.
Yeah, moderation
But
is
who
always
wants to be
key.
moderate? I know. Damn.
Well, I mean, one of my bucket list items is once I get my passport back, is planning a trip for New Orleans. I've always wanted to
Uh,
go. Uh,
it's a really. It is like nowhere else in the world. It really is special. It is.
I know that you were born and you lived in London or England,
Yes. Yes.
but currently you're living in New Orleans. Is that correct?
I live in both.
You live in
I've
both. So
always lived in both. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
depending on the projects and depending on the season, or
Yes, because I tour in Europe all the time, so I'm there half and half. Yeah.
okay. Well, that's
Yeah. For example, I'll be there in London for the whole of summer. I've got festivals. I've got a show that I'm in London. Yeah. So and I'll be working, also writing. So I'll be there probably 3.5 months, and then I'll come back, and then I'll go back there again in November,
okay.
October, November. So I travel a lot. I have to. I have to go between those two, the two things that I am. I'm such a, I am a Brit. I'm Welsh, obviously, I need Europe. I need those sensibilities. I need that culture, and I need New Orleans as my most favorite place.
Well, you're a jazz butterfly.
Yes, I am.
Well, Judith, thank you for taking so much
Thank you,
time for
Yannick.
this
Thank
interview.
you. I'm glad it
You,
worked out.
it did.
Finally. Yeah.
You're a fabulous person, a fabulous singer,
Oh,
songwriter.
thank you. Thank you.
I can't wait for the new album to come out because I know it's going to have rave reviews. Just by the singles that you've released, it's shipping out to be something even much better.
Yeah, it's getting tremendous love. The singles are getting incredible love. So, and people can now go on iTunes and Spotify and Amazon everywhere and get Suit Yourself. So, it's an exciting time for me.
Well, thank you so much. The last question I do need to ask. I think we already
Yes.
covered that you had vinyls that were being released. I think.
Yeah, the vinyl and CD. The vinyl comes out. I think with CDs May 14th. I believe that's right, or in June. But right now, it's all available digitally.
Hmm.
But the
Physical.
physical comes out. I know that the CDs are May 14th, and I think the vinyl comes out at the same time. Yeah, which I'm very excited about because that's my favorite.
And yet,
Vinyl's my favorite.
any other merchandise that you have available for people to actually get?
I'm going to think about that because really I should be selling hats. That's really what I should be selling. I should either be selling suits or hats or bow ties or ties. But I think something that goes along with my look really is what I should be doing. So I have to think about that very carefully.
Oh well, if it does happen, I'll probably be looking forward to it myself. But
Oh, well, I hope so. I hope so. Thank you so much.
oh, you're very much welcome. Have a best of
Cheers.
your evening. Hopefully,
Thanks.
a little bit less wet.
Yeah, I know that less wet now. It hasn't stopped. It's still going. It's still going.
Okay.
Thanks, Janet. Bye, my love.
Bye.
Bye.